Okay, what we're going to try is a test to see how far an aerial spray goes, kind of trying to mimic an individual sneezing, or to see what happens as far as moisture or virus transmission, how far it spreads out when someone sneezes, and also the effect of air currents on it. So we're going to go outside, and it'll be a little dark and a little hard to film, but we're using fluorescent paint. I've got these little flags every 2 feet, going 12 feet. And we'll test out and spray from a height of 4 feet and also from a height of 6 feet to see how far everything travels and how wide it travels. So we'll see you outside. We're outside here. We've got our little stakes going 2 foot all the way to 12 feet. We've got our black lights so that it'll show the fluorescent paint. And the right side is 5 feet and the left side is 5 feet. So that's a total of 10 foot wide. And I'm going to stand at about a 4 foot height, and we'll give it a shot and see what happens. Now I could see where I'm standing that it went way past 12 feet. It hit the wind current. It probably went 24 feet and drifted with a wind current. So even we're sitting here in pretty much a very low breeze. You don't see the palm trees moving much. So it doesn't take much air to influence it. Why don't you go to the other end and let me shoot towards you and see if it comes any better or worse. Okay, this time we're at 6 foot height, and we'll give it a shot. Okay, now, an interesting thing, look at these black lights. They've got orange speckles all along them from the fluorescent paint. So that means it went on each side 5 feet. So we're talking a 10-foot spread, and at a considerable height too. So there's quite a bit of spray. And the more you push down the button, the more push there is behind it. So if you were to sneeze or something and you had a flow, that will push it a long, long ways, and it'll be influenced by minor winds. I'm going to go to the other end and shoot to see what kind of wind we're in. This will be a 4 foot shot. Oh, I could see it easily came past the 12 foot mark. It went to probably 14 feet easily. It came up probably at least 6 or 8 feet high from a 4 foot height. Now we'll take a 6 foot shot. It was hitting a wind current. It probably went about 8 feet or so, and then the wind current influenced it and drifted it back that way. And then again, you'll see a lot of the orange flecks on the black light, meaning that the spray pattern was pretty enormous. So we'll go back inside and talk this thing through. All right, we're going to do one more spray. So to show when an aerosol spray goes into a mask, virtually nothing. The only thing is it blowing around the sides, where if the mask was being worn, it wouldn't be doing that. So it totally, in my mind, eliminates 95% or 99% of the aerosol transmission just by everyone wearing a mask. Okay, this is a recap of what I think I saw or experienced out there with the aerial spray and with the black light. Obviously, the more push on it, the farther it goes. So if you have something that comes deep in your lungs and it's a big sneeze, you're going to get an enormous distance out of it. And the larger sneeze and the longer distance, it blows the 6 foot distance completely out of the water. because we're going 15 feet wide, we're going 8 feet high, and depending on air current. So the slightest air current in a building or outside could have an enormous effect on it. My thought is, at the same time, if an individual was wearing a mask and sneezed into that mask, it would virtually eliminate the distance. So it's only my opinion, but I can't conceive you sneezing into a mask and it going 15 or 20 feet. So it would seem that if everyone was wearing a mask, it would enormously reduce transmission in my mind. And it would be largely irrelevant what type of mask, because any mask of any type would severely inhibit the flow. And usually when air particles go through even small restrictions, it slows them way down. So my thought is, any mask from the sneeze standpoint, maybe from an inhaling standpoint, separate issue, but from the fact of somebody sneezing into the air, it's going to greatly reduce the contamination. So the other thing is, wind currents or drafts or ventilation can have enormous effect on where a sneeze or an aerosol movement would go. If you have a current that's pulling it away from you, it'll pull it away from you. If you have a current that's pulling it some other direction toward you, it's going to pull it toward you. So there could be a lot of beneficial effects from air systems that are pulling contamination away from you. At the same time, if you have something that's pulling it or blowing it up, the effect of the air currents could have a detrimental effect on it. So that's my basic thought on what went on. Who knows? Give me your opinion.